Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Good afternoon, everyone. Anybody please reply me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So I welcome you. Session 2 of this 5 days FDP organized by SMDR Government Polytechnic Dhule. So for session 2, we have a very young and dynamic speaker from KCIIL, that is KBC NMU Incubation Center for Startup and Linkage, set up at KBC NMU, that is KBC North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Engineer Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni sir. To introduce Nikhil Kulkarni sir with our audience, I would like to invite my colleague Shri D.A. Devre sir, lecturer in English, to kindly introduce our speaker with our audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon to one and all, and I heartily welcome Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni, sir, for today's second session. It's the immense pleasure for me to introduce Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni, sir, with the audience. He is going to conduct the session on a very important topic, that is startup opportunities, ecosystem and government support. Before going to start this session, I would like to introduce Kulkarni sir. He is working as incubation manager at Kavitri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages. It is the center which is run by the North Maharashtra University. He is also working as a chartered engineer, computer engineer division. He is well-known mentor for Startup India and Merit Startup Hub, Government of India. He is also mentor of change at Niti Ayog. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Nikhil Kulkarni sir to conduct the session or to proceed the further information about the today's session. Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni sir.
Thank you, Professor, for giving the generous introduction. It was truly honor to be in this faculty development program, and I hope the participants are energetic because this is the first day of the session. So I expect the an interactive session because this is the first time that I'm observing a faculty development programming is happening in this particular sector, innovation and entrepreneurship. So host, please confirm whether my slides are visible. I'm presenting a screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, all the slides are visible, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. See, the purpose to ask for the recording, one of the major purpose to ask for the recording of the session is to, because many of the things I'm going to cover in this session are very, very new to the people. Because I believe in the 3-sentence theory. There are the things that you know that you know, there are the things that you know that you don't know, and there are plenty of the things that you don't know that you don't know. So many of the new terminology, many of the new things will come into this my presentation, and there might be a possibility that these faculties are going to say that this is not our goal, or this is not our cup of tea. So it's not like that. So whenever we are going to say about innovation or entrepreneurship, it is for everyone. So to your faculty, staff, student, or anybody. So starting for this presentation, I wish all of you in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I'm glad to be here. I hope you have clearly understood the meaning of this session, that are the startup opportunities, and it's very pretty much important to understand. And in the year of 2022 itself, our nation started celebrating the National Startup Day, which is the 16th of January. Every year, 16th of January, we're going to celebrate the Startup Day. See, the context of my presentation will be like this, that I'm going to take you from the UN Sustainable Development Goals, then the innovation in India, what is actually happening. So the Startup India, the other nationwide initiatives, then what is happening at the state level, what is the different kind of approach that our government of Maharashtra is actually developing into the state, and with the case study of KCI. So before going into the details, let us start understanding the relevant terminologies. So whenever we define a startup, so startup does not always mean a business. Startup always come for an entrepreneurship. So when we say entrepreneurship is always starts with the new things, right? You have a new idea, you have a new thought in your mind that can be convertible into an innovation, or the commercially viable and scalable innovation. So that innovation getting incorporated under the entity, and that entity is known as a startup. So innovation does not always mean a physical thing. So it can be a product, process, or a service. So as far as the government of India's definition, so entity which should be called as a startup, that should be a private limited or limited liability partnership or registered partnership. Second, age of that company should not be, or age of that entity should not be more than 10 years. Third important thing, that the revenue should not be more than 100 crores, because if somebody is going beyond 100 crores, so that doesn't actually require any kind of support as such. And fourth and foremost important point is they should work either for innovative product, process, or service. So whenever we say about the incubator, like the host actually introduced me that I'm working in an incubation center. So try to understand this meaning of the incubation center. Incubation center is nothing but a glass, let's say a glass briefcase, right? तुम्ही काचेची पेटी पाहिली असेल, hospitals मध्ये असते. So that thing is known as the baby incubator. So there we put the babies which are premature, right, which are not able to sustain in the normal environment. So those babies will be kept in that environment for 2 to 3 months. So similarly, now this is the incubation center, so where people like you, like you are the faculties, right? So the one who actually introduced me, he's from the English stream. The coordinator is from the chemistry stream. So these are the expert people, right? So let's say the English professor is having any kind of translation tool with him, let's say text summarization tool with him, but he's not able to understand it, whether it can become innovation, it can go beyond the borders, it can do the scalability into it. So that is not his cup of tea to understand at that point of time. So for that purpose, he approached to the entity like us, whom we call as an incubator, and then we definitely try to see the possibilities of the commercial viability, technical viability, the scalability, and for that, whatever is required, the workspace, management training, captive mentor pool, access to the different technological services at a very discounted rate, that is pretty much available to you. Professor Jadhav, will it be okay if I'm going to continue in English, or do you need a mixed mode presentation from my end? Professor Jadhav?
Yes, sir.
Achha,
Sir, it's no problem. It's exactly okay. It's
no,
okay,
okay,
sir.
na? So faculties are okay with it if I'm going to continue with English only?
Anybody from faculties?
If you have any question, if you have any problem in
As far
understanding.
as it is absolutely okay, sir. No issues.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So moving ahead, there is new terminology known as accelerator. So these are the entities which takes the entrepreneurial ventures who have the market ready product with them, and they only need a larger level of expansion. So those entities we call as an accelerator, right? So the robust type of entrepreneurial venture. So wherever the participants or the host wants, they can take this snapshot of the slides as well for your own stay. So now, when we say there are the innovation support at every end, so these are some central government agencies. So we have under Ministry of Commerce and Industries, there is one Department of Policy for Internal Trade and Tactics. So earlier it was known as Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. So that they have created a dedicated portal known as Startup India. So whatever is happening related to the startup in the nation, or even into the international markets, the entire information can be is clubbed together on this portal. So you can get the information on the benefits, the different agencies, the different type of challenges. So these are available here. There is another portal known as innovateindia.mygov.in. So here on weekly or let's say on monthly basis, they try to they go and they develop the problem statements and they throw it to the general public. There is another agency. Earlier it was a standing committee, and since 2014, a new ministry came into the picture. The name was Niti Aayog. So Niti stands for National Institution for Transforming India. So they actually work for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals like no poverty, zero hunger, equality, life below water, partnership for the goals. So these are the 17 goals. So according to these 17 goals, what sort of innovations are happening? So let's say though you are making a chemistry based innovation or a language based innovation, so you are catering services to the any of these sustainable development goals, right? There is another Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. I think somebody's microphone is on. Turn it off. Okay, thank you. So under that Ministry of Information Technology, Electronics and Information Technology, there is a dedicated portal known as Ministry of Mighty Startup Hub. So whatever incubation centers, whatever facilities are supported by this ministry, they comes into this part. There is an initiative which you might be knowing as a faculty, the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, which has already been started with IIT Delhi, and now it is widespread into the engineering colleges and even into the polytechnics also. So under this Abhiyan, the colleges or the institutions take the adopt the villages, the nearby 5 villages on a challenge board, and they try to solve the problems of those villages or the day-to-day issues of those villages with the use of technology. The pioneering ministry from the central government is the Department of Science and Technology. So they actually created this innovation and incubation ecosystem into the India, and they have more than 300 incubation centers all over the India. Then there is a Ministry of MSME. So this Ministry of MSME have the different schemes known as Aspire. They have the agencies like MGIRI, Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization, which is situated in Varda. So through this kind of agency, they are supporting them. And the integral part of the MSME is KVIC, Khadi Vikas Industrial Commission. So in this KVIC, the livelihood business is getting supported. Let's say bakery products, then oil making. You might have seen, I'm pretty much sure, all of the faculties might have seen somewhere in the metros or in even your cities as well. एक लाकडी तेलाचा घाणा आता डेव्हलप व्हायला लागला जिथे वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचं तेल मिळतं. सो फॉर एस्टॅब्लिशिंग दोज काइंड ऑफ बिझनेसेस, बिकॉज इट्स अ बिझनेस, राईट? दो इट्स नॉट अ कम्प्लिटली इनोव्हेशन, बट दॅट इज अ लिव्हलीहूड बिझनेस. रोजी रोटीचा तो बिझनेस आहे. सो फॉर सेटिंग अप that kind of incubation, that kind of facility, the KVIC supports you, and ultimately MSME supports you. Not actually from the COVID, but before COVID also, many of the viral issues are we do have many of the health issues in India, right? So, and plenty of the innovations are happening around it. So there is a dedicated ministry from central government known as the Department of Biotechnology. Under that Department of Biotechnology, they have the Biotechnology Industry Research and Assistance Council. So like Mighty Startup Hub, the BIRAC also provides the support to the innovations related to the biotechnology. So this is the policy which has been published by the AICTE, UGC, and accepted by all of the institutions in India. Their policy name is National Innovation and Startup Policy. So I request all of you to please take a note of it. Even if you type it in a search engine, you will able to find it out, the policy document. There are few important things I need to point out from this policy. So earlier it was, let's say now you all are the faculties, right? So there might be a confusion in somebody's mind that I am the faculty मी एक शिक्षक आहे, मी ते शिकवतो, मी जॉब करता करता मी बिझनेस कसा करू, मी काही इनोव्हेशनवर काम कसं करू. So, my dear friends, my dear colleagues, let me give you a very good note of it, that with this policy, a faculty, students, or even a staff, even a lab assistant can also have their own startup. So it is pretty much possible for you to have a startup. Along with that, not only to the faculties also, but also for a student if they are working towards the innovation. So students are having the restriction of or mandate of maintaining the minimum 75 percentage of attendance. So with this policy, they have said that if any student is working towards any sort of innovation, and if that has been conveyed to the institution, so some sort of attendance relaxation can be given. So the policy is very, very easy to understand. The document is very, very good to read. Please go and read, and I expect by end of let's say now by end of the day, someone from you will tinker his or her mind, and they will say, okay, I can give a try to have my own startup. But the major issue is also you want to know, because my presentation is all about what are the avenues available, but there is a complete process like ideation, design thinking, then what is the how to develop a POC, proof of concept, and how to develop a prototype. So for that purpose, you want to have any sort of course, and you as a faculty, it is impossible for you to attend the course in person. Also, you cannot commit a time for it. So for that purpose, the government of India has started this program, SILP, Startup India Learning Program. So the beauty of this program now is it's a extensive 4 week of program. You can start at any time, you can end at any time. The time frame they have said that it can be a 4 week of program. So even you can finish it within a week also if you give a dedicated time. The good thing about the second version of this is they are not only going to teach you, there will be some interactive questions with this let's say with this course, and by answering those questions at the end of the course, you will be able to have your own business canvas model, which in a single page, which explains about what sort of innovation you are trying to propose. And the good thing is it's a free online, right? So it's a on website it is available, on Android app also. Even if you go to the Play Store, and if you type SILP, so you will be able to find this course, Startup India Learning Program. On Apple devices, it is not yet available, but let's hope for the best. The third version will come with the App Store as well. These are the sustainable development goals which I was talking about. So whichever innovation you do, any of the innovation fits into these 17 sustainable development goals. So that is more and more to understand it, but not an issue. You start innovating, how to fit your innovations into this. That is our forte. We will do it. No, not only government, my dear friends, not only government, but industry is also very keen to have this kind of initiatives. So, like Persistent, I hope you know the Persistent, a giant in the IT industry. They have the Inter-Institutional Inclusive Innovation Center, which is set up in Pune, and they routinely help to the students and faculties in the schools as well as the colleges. This I foresee also they only have started the Smart India Hackathon, right? And now in this year Smart India Hackathon 2022 is going on. Let me tell you an example. You might have seen in this budget that e-passport are going to come, and sooner the production or the development of the e-passport will take place into the Nashik. So let me tell you, my friends, this sort of innovation actually came from the Smart India Hackathon, right? There is another big giant KPIT which are working towards the energy and mobility. So they conduct every year they conduct the KPIT Sparkle competition, and in this competition their focus area is to understand the innovations from energy and mobility part. There is another competition which every year goes. That competition name is India Innovation Challenge Design Contest. So Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, then Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and third, Texas Instrument. So it's a tripartite competition conducted by them. Then Facebook is also there. Facebook also have their School of Innovations in India, which is startup by SV.co. SV means Startup Village. Tata Crucible Hackathon is there. Tech Mahindra's Internet of Things is there. Cognizant's Master Code is there. I hope you are able to see this one, the USISTEF. So this is the call. This is actually the call for the the innovations which are working which are having the partners both from India as well as US, working towards healthy individuals or empowering citizens. So for them, it is available there. And you won't believe the quantum of funding is 2.5 crores. So US and India external affair ministries are working together for having this kind of innovations. So when I say about the startup, so what benefit you are going to avail from the government of India? So first important support is the legal support. So you can self-certify, right? You might have heard this word ease of doing business. So this is the thing. Like earlier, it was very difficult to start the businesses in India, but now even you can self-certify yourself against the 9 environmental and labor laws through the mobile app or through the Startup India web portal. There is no need to go to anywhere into the government offices and take the no objection certificates from them. For the IPR, the assistance is available. You might have seen there is 80% of rebate in filing the patents has been given by government. Even if you are a startup and if you are filing a patent, so there are the fast track startup applications are also there. Earlier, it was very difficult to exit the company, take an exit from a company or to wind up a company. But here, if you are a startup, so within a period of 90 days, you can have the uh, easy exit or easy wind up. Then there is a corpus fund. Funding is available. The SIDBI has started. SIDBI stands for Small Industrial Development Bank of India. They started the fund of funds for the investment to the startups. So earlier the corpus was 2,500 crores, but now it is 10,000 crore. And in this COVID itself, they gave actually the 20,000 crores to the MSMEs, out of which few of the funding actually made available to the startup. Then there is a credit guarantee scheme made available by the government, that and for that 500 crores of per year has been allotted by government. Do you have the tax exemptions? You can, if you are a startup, so if you get recognitions from the DIPP, which is now known as DPIIT, so you get a recognition number, and in that recognition number, to that recognition number, for the period of 10 years, you get considered as a startup, and with that you can select any 3 consecutive years to file the nil returns, right? So this is the facility has been given. Then you being a startup, if you are doing any kind of development for the product, process, or service, so government guarantees you to have the fair market values, right? Then industrial academia, like I said, there are 31 innovation centers. So like your host introduced me that I'm working in the I'm actually sitting in the university. So yes, so in this university, the government of Maharashtra have initiated the incubation center, which I'll definitely talk about later. Then there are apart from this, whatever funding which I explained you earlier with different ministries, there are the different fundings, that like Nidhi funding, the IEDC funding, then Uchchatar Avishkar Yojana funding, then annual incubator grant challenge is there. So this sort of funding is available to the startups. Now coming to the Maharashtra government. So Maharashtra have the startup policy, which is for the period of 2018 to 2023. And in this policy, I'm going to explain you here. So Maharashtra has this leapfrog approach. So LEAPFROG. We'll see definitely one by one. It's a structured approach developed by the government of Maharashtra. So L stands for lightening the regulatory compliances. Like I said earlier, why it was difficult to start the businesses, because there were so many nitty-gritties were there. So the people were not actually in the favor of starting the businesses. So you can have the self-certification, the different kind of relaxation in the laws. Like I said, now there are 9 environmental and labor laws are there where you can have the relaxation. You can self-certify for them. Then easy norms for procurement. So you can have, earlier it was, let's say, to work for any government related project or any big project, you should have the 3 years of existence and 100 employees you should have. So now it is not there. Achha, good thing to tell you, as hopefully all you are from Dhule, so you might wonder to know that the Google Pay, right? You people are using the UPI facility from the Google, with the known as the GPay or Google Pay. So the Google Pay is designed, the business logic, the first level business logic has been designed by a company which is situated in Dhule, and which is started by the people who got their education in Dhule itself. So be proud of it. That the entire world is now using the GPay. So its first logic was developed by the people in Dhule itself. Coming back to this, so you have the compensation in the stamp duties and the registration fees. Then you have the assistance to the patent filing. For the quality testing, you have the things. So for the patent filing at national level, government supports up to 2 lakh, state government, or for international patents they support up to 10 lakh rupees. For quality testing, whatever amount you consume towards the NABL accredited labs quality testing, so 80% of money will be refunded by the government itself. You have the tax holidays. It means there is no need to have the state the filing of the GST and 100% returns. E stands for the E connect to the ecosystem. So sooner the government is coming with this Leapfrog Maharashtra portal, then we also have our support portal through which you can interact with us. A means augmented infrastructure. So setting up the innovation clusters, then world-class incubators like one we have in Jalgaon, and we cater the services to the Jalgaon, Dhule and Nandurbar primarily. So there are the different kinds of incubators. Like in academic, they are having the Batu, Lodere, the research oriented, we are there. The private RIT, Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology. Then there are the private and social incubators like the TABIF is there, Tamil Nadu Agri Incubation Center. Then there are virtual incubation centers are also there. You have the accelerators. Next to accelerators, there are scalators. And to figure out the innovations in the into the school level, we have the tinkering labs. So if I'm not wrong, there are 13 tinkering labs which got the in Dhule district itself, which got the funding worth rupees 20 lakh each from the Niti Aayog under the Atal Innovation Mission. Then partnering with the industries. So various types of industries are required: the manufacturing, processing, servicing, marketing, influencing. We have the, the different kinds of investors. So these are the, because these people are the stakeholders into your innovation or entrepreneurial journey. So we have the friends of family. There are different banks and government agencies which give the funds. We have the angel investors, angel groups, accelerator incubators, then family offices, VC firms, corporate investor. People are there, my dear friends. People are there. Only the thing is, you need to take a stand, or you need to take a lead that I want to do it. Whether it is possible or not, that we will definitely see. Then F stands for funding to the startup. So like I said, we have the funds into the city. We have the different infrastructural funds to the startup. Then there are crowdfunding schemes. Then you might wonder that since 2019, the Commerce Ministry also said to the companies which are eligible for the CSR funding. So whatever CSR funding you have, so don't spend that funding into just creation of the wells and just creation of these the temples or the roads. Invest your CSR funding into the innovations which is made by the startups, right? So this CSR funding is made available to the startups through the way of the incubator like CEng, which we have. Then there are alternative investment mechanisms which are available. I hope you might have seen a very popular show which is which was hosted a few days back on the Sony television media, Shark Tank. So there are the investors, there are the sharks who try to understand your business. So I sarcastically use this word when I saw that Shark Tank, that we at KCL, or we as the incubator, we are not shark, and it's not the tank. Rather, you can call us as a dolphin, because we think humanly, because we just want to figure out the innovations which you people are doing, right? Whether it's scalable, feasible, that can be discussed. We never ask you to come with the entire thing. If you want to if you want a discussion, we will definitely do the discussion. And I'm pretty much optimistic in this way that at least one faculty will come in front of you. And the good vibes which is happening around the Polytechnic, my fingers are crossed. But sooner we are definitely going to work with all of the Polytechnic colleges in this region to give this entrepreneurial support. Then this is very, very important, this realizing the human potential, because we have different role models in and around us. So before joining this KC, when I made a Reiki, of this region, you will be wonder to know that there are the 16 innovators who got the presidential award for doing their innovation without having any formal education. So this is pretty cool, but unbelievable as well. So we should go to them. We should uh, consider them as a role model. We should give them exposure that these people have actually done it. Then government is also keenly working to inculcate the entrepreneurial skills into the schools. Then like I said, incentive to the students in college, like for the 75% attendance. Then faculty enhancement. So faculty can also start their startup. My dear friends, let me tell you, you might have heard this, that IIT Madras is the top notch college or institution in the India. So you will be wondered to know that the 74 faculties from the IIT Madras are having their own startup. They're working on startup while continuing their job as a faculty, right? Then these setting up the technology entrepreneurship development cells. So like I said, like now we are with the university, like for the KCL, the KBC NMU is the host institution. So this host institution is having 216 affiliated colleges. So out of them, in 61 affiliated colleges, we already started the KIDCs. So KBC NMU Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell. And through this development cell, what is the use of this cell? Because it is pretty much difficult for us to reach out to the each and every college. So for that purpose, we have established the innovation cells so that the students, faculty, and staff can get the local support and they can come to us through their innovation centers. And I'm glad to tell you that one of the faculty from ZB Patel College, Dhule, and he's from chemistry background. He already started his company, Organonutrients Private Limited, with the complete support from KCL. His name is Dr. Swapnil Sononi. You can go and meet him. You can just give the KCL's reference. Then like we have the community builders through the CSRs. The innovations can be realized. Online education, like I gave you the option of startup India learning program. Mentors, right? So like I hope you have received this FDP schedule. So from our end, we are the 6 to 7 people who are going to present you the different sort of the presentations. So we are proud to say that we are the government of India's recognized Startup India mentors for this particular region. Then definitely the government is also keen in conducting these competitions, district businessman competitions, startup symposium, startup week, grand challenges. Then we are also trying to propose the vice chancellor challenge for this region. So soon we'll definitely come to you. Governance, like for doing this entire thing, we need the support at the from a special entity. So for that purpose, this sectioned company has been established, whose name is KBC NMU Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, and it has been supported by Department of Skill Development, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Maharashtra, under this MSIN scheme. So with this, my friends, that's what I said. I've covered many of the things with you people. So these things are like dots to you, right? So I hope you have noted the dots, and thanks to the organizer, they have recorded this session. We wish that you should definitely going to work on the dots. You just go on any of the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Koo, Insta. You just type KCIIL. You will able to see us. Please do subscribe, follow, like our whatever things we have given there, so that you will regularly get updates from our end. And like I said, you should start trusting on the dots, because whatever information has been given to you, that is an authentic information. You should humor those dots, right? And you should work beyond those dots, because see, if you want a success, I know, see, before being a full-time incubation manager, I was an assistant professor in engineering institution. So I'm itself call myself as an intrapreneur. So though I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an intrapreneur, that I've given the different kinds of wealth opportunities to my organization, right? And that was only possible because I started working on the dots beyond my working timings. And don't only work beyond timing, but you should work on a long-term basis. be grateful to the dots, be grateful to your organizers, because they extensively worked and they designed this entire module, and because of them we actually getting connected to you. And most importantly, let's not have the session monotonous. At the end of the session, I'll at least expect the questions from you people. So this is how you're going to reply to the dots. So this is the startup support ecosystem that we give the incubation infrastructure. There are the specialized facilities. You have the industry and investor connects. You have the grant management. You get a patent and IP support. There are the technical and business mentoring support from our end. So this is the 360-degree support which is given by the incubation center to those who want to start their entrepreneurial journey. This is like I said, this is our vision and mission, that we want to primarily work for the North Maharashtra region, and hopefully you are getting covered under the North Maharashtra, where we are able, let me tell you very proudly that we are able to set up the robust infrastructure. Now the entire state is actually congratulating us for having this kind of the achievements from our end, which I'm definitely going to cover in my next presentation. These are the components like innovation, incubation, and linkages. So you come with your idea, we incubate you. If it is feasible from our end to nurture it, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll definitely go and make you the external linkages as well. This is the this 360-degree support which is given from our end. These are the thrust areas which we are currently working. And now we are saying we are sector agnostic because we want innovators to come into the picture. Let the thrust area to be get finalized at the end of the journey. With this, Professor Jadhav, I'm taking pause here. If the participant wants to note down my contact details are available here. I've given you my number, but preferably try to connect me with through the WhatsApp, because if I'll be there in somewhere in the session or the meeting, it won't be possible for me to answer your query, and I may miss the generous and prospective innovator in you. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm available on WhatsApp. My email ID is also given. So with this, I'm taking pause. Now I expect the participants will definitely have a question, starting from the host itself, Professor Subit Jadhav.
So thank you very much for this very informative session. I just wonder, and I'm very eager to ask. You just mentioned that the GPay almost uh, most of the people are daily using it GPay, and you have mentioned in your lecture that somewhere it has been started from Dhule. So
Yes,
can
yes.
you please elaborate? I was just only wondering for that.
It is very hard to believe, for the people, it is very hard to believe that there is a company in Dhule, Arcelor Technologies Private Limited, led by Sagar Vasule and his team. So they actually developed it. But somehow what happened, this ecosystem was not available there at that point of time. So they missed that project in the latter stages. But now fortunately they are getting connected with the KSIL, and we are trying to achieve the new heights to them.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, participants, any questions? This is not the end of our today's sessions. Now we are only going for tea break for 20 minutes. Now it's 3:11. Okay. 3:12. So we will go on break for 18 minutes, and we can gather at 3:30. Is it okay for everyone? Is it okay, Kulkarni sir, for you?
Yeah, for me it's okay. Just a point. I'm observing the photos of the participants, and if I'm not wrong, can I ask Mr. Sagar Badguzar to turn on his video?
He is one of
Because
our team members.
yeah. Because I think I have worked with him earlier, and
Okay.
he knew me, if I'm not wrong. So if it is possible for him to start the video, so because from photo I'm able to figure out that he was there in Sandeep, where I actually started transforming myself from an assistant professor to the incubation leader. I think it's not possible for him. No issues. We'll see him in the next session. So I hope there will be no questions from your end. If there are any, please note them down. We'll surely meet at the 3:30. Okay.
30.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
meet at 3:30.
So all participants, now it's a tea break and we will meet at 3:30. Okay, for last session of today's lectures. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jadhav sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You may stop recording.